Welcome everybody back to the channel. Thanks for joining. Got a couple of things to go over today, but primarily what I'm out doing is giving the bike a bit of a shakedown. I just got it back from getting the fuel sender replaced, and I'm pleased to report that everything went well. And it took a bit over a month to get it for the part to arrive, but once the part arrived, the dealer was able to get it in and fix for me really quickly, which was awesome. And I'm pleased to say that I can report back that the 15,000k / 12-month service, I'm glad I withheld my judgment. I wasn't particularly pleased when I did get it serviced, but I can honestly say that the summary, of a whole of how the service and the warranty claim went was really positive, and I would definitely not hesitate to use that dealer again. So I think the experience I had on the day when my bike was serviced, it was mostly okay. I could nitpick a few things, but really what it is, I think, was a small, very busy business who were just overwhelmed on the day, and I'm really glad I did use that as a sort of an umbrella judgment as to how they usually do business, because the warranty claim around getting the fuel sender fixed ended up being, a really positive experience, to the point where they asked me to bring the bike down the night before, so I took off that afternoon at work. They got it done the next day. They messaged me. I'd planned to catch a train down. Wildlife, but unfortunately the train that I was going to take, someone took their life using the train that morning, so I called them and asked if I could leave it there for another night, and they were so accommodating and understanding. They kept it in their tiny little workshop, kept it safe for me to be able to go back and get it the next day, which was really thoughtful, really nice. So I definitely recommend them. I might give them a shout out in the comment section. The reason I'm out today is because I'm leaving for my Perth trip on Friday, so I'm basically going to ride from my home in Traralgon, which is in the east of Victoria, the east of Australia, Victoria, all the way to Western Australia, the capital city of Western Australia, which is Perth, which is going to be about 4,500 kilometres. And I'm leaving on this Friday, which is Good Friday, and today's a bit of a shakedown for the bike to test the fuel sender again, although that's been spot on. But I've also got with me all my luggage. Everything's pretty much loaded up just to test the bike. I think I'm going to need to add some preload to the rear shock just to account for the extra luggage I've got. I've got some pannier bags, which I'll show when I've found somewhere to park and take some footage of. I've got a bag, waterproof duffel bag that my in-laws bought for me a couple of years ago, which I've used on a few motorbike trips. And I've got my top box, my genuine CF Moto top box, which I bought from the dealer, who actually gave me a really good price, the one who did the service and warranty repair on this, just so I can lock up any valuables, like my camera equipment, because I do plan on filming the entire trip. So today is just a bit of a shakedown to make sure that I've got everything tied down nicely and that the bike is settled and well balanced. And so far it seems pretty good. Just if anything, I feel like I could maybe add a touch of preload on the rear shock, just to reduce the amount of sag. thanks to those who commented on my last video about the taller windshield. I'm going to keep that on there, as much as I don't like the aesthetics of it. It's really practical, and it just reduces your fatigue so much when you're riding long distance, to have that sort of, I think the clean air sort of goes right up to the top of my helmet with this at its full height. So between that and wearing earplugs, it really makes riding that much less fatiguing. And I will have a couple of really big days, especially when I'm crossing the Nullarbor, where I'm well, they're not huge days, they're about 500 kilometre days, but it's a bit outside the norm for me. So whatever I can do to reduce my fatigue and make the trip that little bit more comfortable, then I think is ultimately a good idea, and is more important than how I think the bike looks. So yeah, the plan is I'll leave on Friday, I'll ride to Ballarat on the first day, and then Ballarat to Horsham. I originally wanted to go around the Great Ocean Road, but because it's the Easter weekend, there's no accommodation. And also the guitarist in my band just got back from the Great Ocean Road, and he said it was just full of roadworks at the moment, so I thought I'd give it a miss. And I did ride on it not too long ago, I think it was about this time last year, maybe May last year, which I've got a video about. It was amazing, and I was lucky to be there when it was relatively quiet. But on the Easter weekend, I reckon it'd be absolutely packed and difficult to ride on and share the road with that many people. So yeah, so Ballarat, then Horsham, and then a little town called Robe that I've always wanted to see. So I'm going to pass through Robe, stop at a place called Kingston SE, and then from Kingston it's Adelaide, then from Adelaide to Port Augusta, and then it's across the Nullarbor. So that's a part that I'm really looking forward to, is just seeing that remote part of Australia across the Great Australian Bight, staying in some places like Ceduna, which I've been to once before, back in when I was case managing a little boy in child protection. I had to fly over there with him just to meet some family. It was a pretty crazy experience, but nevertheless one I won't forget, and I would really have always wanted to go back there. Then I think it goes Balladonia, Portertown, Esperance, and then around the I may have got that around the wrong way. I should remember this one now. I'll put a link maybe that goes to my map in the description. But then yeah, around the bottom of the southwest coast, which is apparently really beautiful. And then my family are going to fly over to Perth, so my wife Melanie and my sons William and Charlie, we're going to fly over, and we're going to stay a few days in Perth and go over to Rottnest Island and have a little family holiday, which will be great. And then we're going to fly back together, and the bike is going to get shipped back. And interestingly, it's going to cost roughly the same amount for the three, to Melanie, William and Charlie, to fly from Melbourne to Perth, as it is for the four of us to fly back, plus to have the bike shipped back. So it's ludicrously expensive to fly from Melbourne to Perth, but roughly the same amount that it will cost to ship this entire motorbike and the four of us back the other way, which is just ridiculous. But we've been saving for this for a long time. You only live once, so we might as well do it properly, do it in comfort and make the most of it. And I've never been past Ceduna, you know, that side of Australia any further west, and Melanie's never been past Adelaide, and the kids have never been past Adelaide, so this will be a really unique experience for us. Australia's such a huge country, it's just so vast. And 43 years old, and I've never seen any more than about 10% of it, I reckon. And that's probably being generous. So that'll be super fun. So at the moment everything feels pretty tight, the bike feels good. I'm taking camping gear with me, although best case scenario is I won't do much camping at all. It's really just for emergencies if there's no accommodation available. I do live with epilepsy. That's part of the deal for me. Is I have seizures, but I only ever have them in my sleep, and on all but 2 occasions they resolve pretty quickly, and it takes me a little while before I feel okay again. But on 2 occasions, once in 2016 and once at the start of last year, the seizures didn't resolve and I required pretty urgent medical attention. So I'd much rather stay in a hotel where there's other people around. Someone might notice that I'm in distress. Whereas I'm free camping somewhere and that all goes down, I might not get the emergency medical care that I need. It's just one of those things. But part of the reason I'm doing this is because ever since I was diagnosed with epilepsy when I was about, I think I was 26 or 27, all of my life choices have been defined by that diagnosis. So this is the first thing that I've really done riding solo across Australia. It's really been in contradiction to that, and I'm hoping that what it will do is just free up that anxiety that comes with having a chronic illness, having it sort of always looming over all your decision making. So like, if I complete this, I'll hopefully feel like a new man and feel less defined by having that in the back of my head all the time. But anyway, it's mid-April here, and it's I'm getting up into higher altitude now, so it's dropped to 28 degrees. But when I left home it was about 32, 33 degrees, so it's unusually hot at the moment. I'm supposed to have a few rainy days over the Easter weekend when I set off, and then other than that the long distance or the future forecast looks pretty remarkable, so I'm going to have some amazing weather. So I'll take some waterproofs, but I'll also take this jacket here, which is perforated and keeps you nice and cool when you're moving. Because Western Australia tends to be a fair bit warmer than the eastern states. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to it so much. I just love riding on new roads. I'm going to be riding on the longest straight road in Australia, which goes for about 90 miles or 140 something kilometres, which is why it's called the 90 mile straight, which I can't believe I'm looking forward to riding on a really straight road. But I think the peacefulness that will come with riding along the treeless plain, the relaxation that will come with that will be amazing. Just seeing parts of Australia I've never seen. Looking forward to seeing all the wildlife, hopefully not too up close. I'm going to avoid riding at dusk and dawn, of course, because that's when Australian wildlife are at their most active, and I'll probably see lots of kangaroos and emus. There's a lot of feral camels out there, so I'll just have to be super careful of them. And another thing I've been told to worry about is the giant eagles eating the roadkill off the side of the road. Apparently when they do that, they're absolutely huge, great big eagles. When they've got a really full belly, it takes them a long time to take off, and you could think that they're, you know, you've given them enough time to take off, but because they're so weighed down by their tummies, they're because they've been eating the roadkill, you can catch up to them pretty quick. So a few of my parents' friends who have crossed the Nullarbor with their caravans have given me that very advice, so that might be one to look out for. Anyway, I'm almost at Rawson. You're probably sick of me riding this road, but it's such a great road. And I'll find somewhere quiet to give you a bit of a tour of my luggage options that I've chosen. And yeah, thanks for watching, and thanks for sticking around. I'll talk to you soon. Okay, just to give you a quick run around. Up the front, obviously I've got the quad lock with my phone mounted to it, so that I can use that as a GPS along the way. Super handy to have the USB plugs here, as well as a cigarette lighter on the other side, so I can power up that and anything else that I want to have. Then in terms of luggage, I've got the Nelson Rig tank bag here, which is great just for storing water and your wallet and other goodies like that. I think I've got some tissues, helmet lock, a couple of other bits and bobs, just stuff that you need to get into regularly. Then this bag here, this big 50-litre bag, I'm not sold on whether or not to take that. At the moment it's got all of my camping gear in it. So tent, sleeping mat, pillow, head torch, yeah, you name it, sleeping bag, it's all in there. But it's pretty big. The only reason I'm sort of sold on taking it is because I can use it as my carry-on for when I fly home, and I can sort of transfer all my camping stuff into the saddlebags, and then yeah, put all my clothes and toiletries and whatnot in there. Then I've got these are brand new to me, these Nelson Rig, I think they're called the Hurricane bags, and they seem to fit really nicely on the racks that came with the CF Moto. They're 28 litres each, and they've got these really nice, let's see if I can get it open for you. So they're very well made, and they're quite sturdy. But I like the fact that they have these bags on the inside, so you can leave them attached to your bike, take this into the hotel or into your tent. And unlike this bag, which I do love, this bag has been so good. The only thing it's really missing, so you can really cinch it down and roll it over really nicely, is one of these air valves to release the air down when you're rolling up the top. It's so good that these have got these built in, so you can get them really cinched down, everything really tight in there, and keep it as compact as possible. I do like the idea of these drink bottle or spare fuel holders, but they do really get in the way of your tie down straps here. So that's not ideal. They have come a bit loose actually, I'm going to have to tighten them up. But yeah, I might carry some extra water, I think, in them. Yeah, I do have a Camelback which I'll take with me, but it's good to see that these bits of sort of solid fabric here have shielded against the heat of the exhaust. And then lastly, all my electronics, so I'll probably take all my cameras, laptop, hard drive, and I'll probably store all my medication in here as well, because that's super important. Anything that's, you know, I can't sort of live without or that's of high value, I'll lock in here. I can't believe the quality of this box. My old Triumph Sprint came with luggage, and it was not as good as this. It was not as well built as this. This is really solid, so waterproof, really well made. So CF Moto are doing well. I've got the Midas EO7 Plus tyres front and back. They'll allow me the ability to go off the beaten path if I need to. Not that I'm an incredibly competent off-road rider, but I'm also hoping that they'll help be a little bit puncture resistant as well. Because I will be carrying a puncture kit and a tyre inflator, but I don't really want to be dealing with that if I don't have to. But yeah, otherwise, that's how it looks, all ready to go. Hopefully that's everything and more than I'll need. I'd rather maybe overpack than underpack. At the moment, I don't think I've got the balance quite right. But riding wise, it's handling all the extra weight really well. So as always, this bike continues to exceed my expectations. Anyway, time to get home. I'm going to watch a movie with my family. Going to see the Minecraft movie, so looking forward to that. And next time I see you, I think it'll be Good Friday, and I'll be setting off from Traralgon to Perth. So I'll see you then.